Sex for sale, a familiar face in football who's worth billions. Just one of countless men caught up in a South Florida prostitution crackdown.
Of the individuals,
he is.
that would be Mr. Robert Kraft.
The owner of the New England Patriots facing charges tonight, how he's not the only prominent person under the microscope.
None of this would happen if those men were not availing themselves and participating in this human misery.
CBS 12 News starts now.
If it wasn't for the hundreds of male customers that go in these places daily, there's so many customers out there that are men that are looking for that, and that's why these places are making millions and millions of dollars.
And as we come on the air tonight, disgusting and deplorable conditions. CBS 12 News obtaining an inspection report from the Florida Department of Health. The report painting a disturbing picture of the Jupiter Spa that finds itself right in the middle of a statewide human trafficking operation. Now, Jupiter police say the traffickers forced several women to live inside the spa, selling sex to about 8 men a day. So far, 25 men, you see here, including New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft, have been charged with soliciting sex at the spa. CBS 12 Nyala Charles live from the spa tonight in Jupiter with more of the shocking details. Nyala, good evening to you.
Good evening, Paul. This report says that officers asked the health inspector to go inside as part of the investigation, and it says that officers placed cameras inside that recorded months of sexual activity. Tonight, there's a danger sign posted on the front door. The spa closed indefinitely. The report from the Florida Department of Health paints a disturbing picture of the Orchids of Asia Day Spa. When a health inspector walked in last November, she marked just one violation. The massage equipment was not safe or sanitary, with wear and tear, but it was what was allegedly happening on those tables that police say is illegal, the sale of sexual acts. The police report says the health inspector found signs that women were living in the spa, rooms with beds, clothing, and a kitchen, with a refrigerator full of food. Law enforcement saying several women from China were forced to live there and sell sexual services to more than 1,000 men per year. Police say after the health inspector left the spa, they found bags of seminal fluid in the trash can. This week, police say they arrested 4 madams at the spa as part of the statewide human trafficking investigation. The spa's owner, 58-year-old Hua Zhang, and employees, 39-year-old Lei Wang, 49-year-old Rumei Li, and Lixia Zhu, and 25 men who reportedly received the services on camera, including Patriots owner Robert Kraft. According to the New York Times, investigators placed the cameras there after staging a fake bomb threat. The report says of the 3 licensed massage therapists the health inspector saw inside, just one of them was arrested. So that could mean that more arrests are on the way. We're now reporting live from Jupiter. Nyala Charles, CBS 12 News.
Thank you, Nyala. And tonight we're awaiting an arrest warrant for Robert Kraft. Now, we're told he's not expected to be arrested, but his lawyers are expected to make out-of-county arrangements. That is according to our CBS station in Boston. We spoke to a former prosecutor and local criminal defense attorney who told us the state will have to prove that Kraft solicited the sex act and paid money in exchange. And that may be tough without audio proof.
From a defense standpoint, that may be their best defense, is that he went in there for a massage, he paid for a massage, and the sex act was unsolicited on the part of the person performing the massage.
He went on to say most of these misdemeanors end in a negotiated plea deal, and the fact that Kraft is accused of going twice may warrant a more severe plea offer than someone who went just once.
Kraft's legal problems may be in the early stages here, but no matter what happens in the court of law, the NFL has its own court to deal with, and their punishment could be strong. As an NFL owner, Kraft will be subject to punishment by the league's personal conduct policy and will be held to a much higher standard than the players. The NFL's policy states that owners, quote, will be subject to more significant discipline when violations of the personal conduct policy occur. The policy also states, quote, everyone who is part of the league must refrain from conduct detrimental to the integrity and public confidence of the NFL. So the league will now conduct their own separate investigation into Kraft's alleged involvement in soliciting another to commit prostitution, which could result in at least heavy fines and a suspension. The last NFL owner to be disciplined was the Colts' Jim Irsay back in 2014, suspended 6 games and fined $500,000 for driving while impaired. But the NFL has yet to punish an owner for an incident like this one.
Sports director John Evanson there. John, thank you. And today, Kraft is reportedly attending Oscar parties in Los Angeles. As you can see here, nothing going on, at least according to our CBS station in Boston, at Kraft's home. That's just outside of Beantown. Meantime, several former law enforcement officers also find themselves at the center of all of this. A former deputy for the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, Scott Taylor, on the left side of your screen, and on the right, that is 67-year-old Charles Thompson, who once worked for Vero Beach Police. Also, a former Sebastian police officer, Vito Guia, were working on getting his photo. Now, Kraft isn't the only prominent name here. Another man facing charges is a board member of a local Boys and Girls Club. That's 75-year-old Kenneth Wessel of Vero Beach, one of the men who police say paid for sex. Now, a police report details how he allegedly went into East Spa in Vero Beach back in December, and then a woman performed sex acts, police say, on him, and he left cash on the table and then left. TC Palm reports that Wessel is president of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Indian River County. He did not return our call for comment. Among the other major arrests tonight, John Childs. According to Bloomberg News, the 77-year-old is the founder of private equity firm J.W. Childs Associates, and he owns a home in Vero Beach. Mark Bope, who is the owner at Architectural Clay Products in Pittsburgh. And then there's John Havens. He's a partner and non-executive chairman at Napier Park Global Capital, and at one time he was the COO of Citibank. And of course, our coverage of this crackdown doesn't end here. To hear from human trafficking survivors and read more on the people arrested, all you need to do is go to our website, CBS12.com.
All right, 9 days in a row now with temperatures warmer than normal here in South Florida, and we've got at least one more day of that with high pressure. Our next weather maker giving us a south and southwesterly wind flow for the foreseeable future. Temperatures right now still pretty warm out there. Delray 74, Boynton 72, Lantana checking in 75 degrees right now. North Palm Beach County upper 70s, Treasure Coast you're looking at temperatures in the mid 70s, and out there near the Lake Okeechobee 75, and Belglade checking in at 69 degrees. Hour by hour for the rest of tonight, fairly quiet. We're looking at partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will drop just a few more degrees to the low 70s across coastal sections and the mid to upper 60s across the interior. All right, there is our next weather maker, a cold frontal system attached to a storm. Severe weather, tornado watches and warnings ahead of that front over parts of the southeast. And when I come back in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about near record heat here in South Florida ahead of the front tomorrow. We're going to track that next weather maker hour by hour, and I'll time out the cooler air and rain again when I return a little later in the newscast. Paul.
Michael, we'll see you then. Thank you. A bank robbery suspect behind bars tonight. Fort Pierce police arrested 35-year-old Roger Allen Moore. There he is after a brief standoff at a local hotel around 7 tonight. Now, they believe he is connected to a robbery at the Seacoast Bank on U.S. Highway 1 happening this morning. He's also being investigated for possible connections to other crimes in that area. A deadly dive out of the sky this afternoon as a plane crashes into a home near the Winter Haven Airport in Polk County, killing a flight instructor. Inside the house at the time, listen to this, a teenager who survived after being pinned by the plane. Take a listen.
Carmel was 17 years of age. Are you ready for this? She was in the bedroom that the plane crashed into. Not only was she in the bedroom that the plane crashed into, but she was pinned and entrapped in the bedroom.
Amazing, she survived. Wow. A pilot trainee and 4 others were not injured. Tonight, investigators trying to figure out why a Boeing 767 cargo plane from Miami crashed in Texas. And the National Transportation Safety Board is on scene as human remains have now been found. The first video from the scene showing the wreckage in shallow water in Trinity Bay, that is just outside Houston. The plane took off from Miami International bound for Houston Bush Airport. Air traffic control reporting that they lost contact with the pilot when storms were moving through the area. The FAA says 3 people were on board the plane.
I don't believe that there's any way that anybody could have survived.
The aircraft was in what I would characterize as a normal descent, and at around 6,300 feet, it began what I will characterize as a very, very rapid descent at that point.
And the FBI out of Houston is also responding to the crash. Investigators are hopeful, they say, they'll be able to recover the black boxes. Heartbreak tonight for the family of former Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillen. He has confirmed that his father, Charles Sonny Gillen, has now died at the age of 69. Funeral arrangements will be announced in the coming days. And the former gubernatorial candidate issuing this statement on the death of his father, saying, quote, "My father was among the best of men, not because he was perfect, but because he was real." He went on to say, "My prayer tonight is that he finds peace beyond our understanding until we meet again." New at 11 tonight, hundreds gathering at the Admiral's Cove Country Club in Jupiter for the Denim White Diamonds and Paws Gala to support a local charity. A special award given in honor of Palm Beach County Sheriff's Deputy K-9 Seago, there he is, shot and killed in the line of duty on Christmas Eve in Wellington. Now, the award stands for courage, integrity, genuine outstanding. Herbert Baum received the first Seago Award for his dedication and love for the animals at Furry Friends. Up next tonight, a newly unsealed memo from Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe. Prosecutors with harsh words for President Trump's former campaign advisor. And winter is coming in less than 2 months. Yes, the possible partnership that will have Game of Thrones fans flocking to the stores. Michael, wait until you see this.
Sounds good, Paul, but anything but winter weather here in South Florida with record heat possible across the area tomorrow. And then our next weather maker, a cold front, will come into the area. We'll time out the rain and cooler temperatures when I come back with your 7-day forecast. See you then.
Here is a look at our Sky Team 12 drone shot of the day. Beautiful, isn't it? This video is from West Palm Beach. New at 11 tonight, singer R. Kelly remains in custody after surrendering to police on charges of criminal sexual abuse. Prosecutors say 3 of the 4 alleged victims were underage girls when the abuse allegedly took place. Today, a judge setting R. Kelly's bond at $1 million. The now 52-year-old's lawyer says Kelly is innocent. Michael Avenatti, a lawyer for 2 alleged victims, says there is videotape evidence. One of the original accusers spoke just after his arrest, and she feels this was a long time in the making.
When I first got the news, I started crying. It was tears of joy to know that we finally got an indictment after, 2 decades of him getting away with the allegations. It was a joyous moment for me.
Now, this isn't the first time Kelly has faced criminal charges. You might recall back in 2008, he was acquitted of child pornography charges in Chicago. Now, if convicted of these charges, he could face 70 years behind bars. He's due back in court on Monday. New at 11 tonight, special counsel prosecutors unleashed words of fury about President Trump's former campaign chair, Paul Manafort, today. Now, this afternoon, the counsel releasing its recommendations for Manafort's punishment before his sentencing next month. Tonight, reporter Nicole Killian has more on the filing from the White House. In a newly unsealed memo, the special counsel's office didn't mince words about former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Prosecutors stated, quote, "For over a decade, Manafort repeatedly and brazenly violated the law." They added, quote, "His criminal actions were bold. Some of which were committed under a spotlight due to his work as the campaign chairman and later when he was on bail from this court." While the government didn't take a position on Manafort's sentence, it warned he presents, quote, "a grave risk of recidivism," and noted, quote, "the sentence in this case must serve both to specifically deter Manafort and generally deter those who would commit a similar series of crime." The recommendation comes after Manafort pled guilty last fall to 2 counts of conspiracy stemming from lobbying work in the Ukraine. He was also convicted in a separate case of tax and bank fraud. It's the latest filing from Robert Mueller, who is nearing completion of his investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election.
There was no collusion, there was no obstruction, there was no anything.
A Justice Department official tells CBS News Mueller's report won't be released next week when the president travels to Vietnam for his second summit with Kim Jong-un. But his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, is scheduled to testify before Congress on the same days as those talks. Now, once the special counsel's report is finished, it will be up to Attorney General William Barr to decide if it should be public. Democrats say it should, while the president says he hasn't talked to Barr about it but looks forward to seeing that report. New video into the CBS12 newsroom from our partners at Weather Nation tonight. Reports of a possible tornado near Aliceville, Alabama. That's just east of the Mississippi border. Strong storms moved through that area earlier today. All right, let's talk about some local weather right now. Meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg is here. And Michael, I think one of the words for today would be
hot.
Warm? Hot?
Yes.
You went to hot. You went right up the thermometer.
I know. We're going to be even hotter tomorrow. Could be near record heat tomorrow afternoon, Paul.
Wow.
I know, wipe that brow. And it's interesting you should show me that the tornado action up across the southeast, because that's actually due to a front, and that front's due to our area on Monday morning, and it's going to drop our temperatures a little bit. But in the meantime, oh yes, hot. In fact, look at that low this morning, 76. 16 degrees above the average of 60, and that 76 is a new record high low temperature for the date if we don't get below that by midnight, and I don't think we will. And there's at 84, 7 degrees above the normal of 77. All right, high pressure continues to be our next weather maker through through Sunday, with a clockwise south-southwest flow of very, very warm temperatures, near record heat possible tomorrow. But there is our next cold front now over the southeastern U.S. Ahead of it, a squall line with some tornadic action, again, across parts of Mississippi and Alabama. We follow the high tomorrow a little bit further south. So on the Treasure Coast, more of a south-southwest land breeze. That could, again, boost temperatures to near the records in the afternoon. Here comes the cool front slipping through unannounced on early Monday morning. Behind it, winds do shift in the northwest, so that is a cooler wind direction. We're going to drop about 8 degrees from the high temperature from Sunday on into Monday. So good news there if you don't like the heat. And then that front will back up, giving us a chance for showers and rain for both Tuesday and on into Wednesday. So if you got any plans out of doors, you might want to cancel them or have the umbrella handy for both of those days. With rain chances coming in at 50%, may need to up that as we head on closer to the event. How much rainfall can we expect? Well, right now, an early look at the European model shows anywhere from a quarter to as much as 3/4 of an inch across parts of the CBS12 viewing area. Hey, the Honda Classic is coming up. We've got the main round starting on Thursday. We go through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think most of the rain will be gone. Maybe a 40% chance for some passing showers Thursday, but all in all, good viewing and spectating weather for that big golf event up there in Palm Beach Gardens. Meantime, right now, a quiet night out there. You can see that waning moon out there rising above the eastern horizon. Temperatures by morning will only drop into the low 70s, Lake Worth to Boca. Maybe some upper 60s inland, where you could get some patchy, dense fog out there tomorrow morning. Loxahatchee coming in at 69. Treasure Coast, your low temperature is mostly in the mid to upper 60s. And then again, near record heat tomorrow. What are we talking about? Well, West Palm, the record's 88. I'm forecasting 86. In Vero Beach, the record's 89, and I'm forecasting 88 degrees out there. At the beach, it was nice today, but if you are going tomorrow, and a lot of you will because of the heat, do watch out for that moderate rip current risk with winds 12 to 18 and the seas from 2 to 3. Partly cloudy, breezy, mild tonight. You know, 73, but again, those 60s inland west of the Turnpike. Nice Sunday coming up, but try to stay cool with those highs in the mid to upper 80s and about a 20% chance for a passing shower. 70 forecast for the weekend's always in view. Shows again that chance for shower Monday, a gusty breeze Monday, and cooler. Upper 70s, rain chances highest at 50% for both Tuesday and Wednesday, drying out and warming up a tad by the end of next week. There's your forecast.
Hot day tomorrow. Michael, thank you. Coming up next in sports, baseball is back. That's right, it's opening day for spring training. The Miami Marlins in the ballpark. We've got the highlights, and Palm Beach County resident Dustin Johnson leading the way at the WGC Mexico Championship. But could Tiger Woods claw his way up into the top 5? Anna Logan just back from the links with all the highlights right after the break.
I'm Boris Epstein. Her cross-point views sharply defined.
I'm Amisha Cross. His opinions give you the bottom line.
Bottom Line with Boris Epstein and Crosspoint with Amisha Cross on CBS 12 News.
This week on Full Measure, blowing the whistle on corruption and cover-ups at a community organizing group. The Acorn 8 on what happened to their group and what happened to them when they fought back. Plus, rebuilding relations after the bitter Vietnam War, the little-known effort to bring remains of our service members home. We were the only independent American media at a milestone handover. Ahead of a second summit between President Trump and North Korea's leader, we revisit our time at the tense demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, and wild horses running free on federal land, a beautiful scene that may hide a serious issue of taxpayer waste. We follow the money. Those stories and more this week on Full Measure.
Now, the South Florida Honda Sports Report.
After clawing his way back from a dreadful start at the WGC Mexico Championship, Jupiter resident Tiger Woods was only 6 strokes back from the leader heading into the round 3 today. 3 birdies in the front 9 for Tiger, but the 15th hole did a number on him, misses the bogey, and he would end up 4 putting and settling for double bogey right here. Finishes at 3 under. The third round at 6 under. Well, Palm Beach Gardens resident Rory McIlroy had 7 birdies today, and here's one of the longest ones he had. McIlroy sits at 12 under, 4 strokes back from the leader, which is this guy right here, Palm Beach County resident Dustin Johnson. Great pitch shot to set up the tap-in birdie. Johnson with a 4-stroke lead at 16 under, heading into the final round of the WGC Mexico Championship, and that's tomorrow. All right, well, is it hot in here, Paul? Can someone help me? Actually, the heat is on your screen. I got jokes. Miami hosting the Detroit Pistons tonight. Pistons on an 11-1 run until the kid from Michigan, Duncan Robinson, drills the 3-pointer. Miami down by 7. End of the third now, Dwayne Wade trying to pass it off, and he does, but he gets it back, and look what he does with it. The contortion on this guy. Wade finishes with 15 points on the night, and the Pistons, well, they finish with 14 3-pointers, shooting 53% from the field, defeating Miami 119-96. Well, baseball is back, and sure, it's not opening day, but today marks the first game of spring training for the Miami Marlins. The fans are happy to be back in the stands, and the players, well, they just want to go yard. Marlins taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Righty Sandy Alcantara starting for Miami, and it was a strong start. Top of the second, Alcantara strikes out Jed Jerko for his 3rd strikeout of the day. Bottom 3 here, runner on 3rd. Miguel Rojas sends it to right field, driving in Lewis Brinson. Marlins go up on top, 1-0. Top of the 4th now, same score. Jerko here pops it up. Now, watch catcher Jorge Alfaro. He's going to run into the railing here. Ouch is right. Could have been a lot worse, but Alfaro returns for the Marlins later. Cardinals go on to score 5 runs in back-to-back innings as the Marlins drop its first spring training game 11-1. But before the game, Rojas, who drove in the only run for the Marlins, says losing isn't always a bad thing.
You always have room for improvement, so that's the good thing about failure during a year, because you learn from it and you have something to work on in the offseason. You always have a motivation to inspire the other guys in the clubhouse, and that's what we want right here: accountability and trying to everybody feed off from that.
Marlins will face the Pirates tomorrow at 1:05. Well, to the courts now to see Josh Isner battling Dan Evans in the semifinals of the Delray Beach Open. Set point, and Isner slices this one down the middle, wins the first set 6-3. But Evans comes back to win the second set, and here in the third, match point, and the serve is too much for Isner to handle. Evans knocks off the 2 seed to advance to the Delray Beach Open finals. Now Evans will take on Radu Abbott in the finals. We'll be right back.
iHeartMedia radio stations, proud partners of the CBS12 News Network, the one to turn to.
Okay, we are waking up to some warm temperatures, upper 60s inland, low 70s coast, but I don't think you'll see rain, and only a 20% chance for a shower tomorrow, with temperatures quickly, though, rising into the 80s. Could be near record heat in the afternoon. We're all sweating here on the set.
Very much so.
Yes, and then we've got a cool front. We drop it a little bit by Monday, and some showers, some much needed rain for Tuesday, Wednesday. So have the umbrella handy.
Okay, so who's a big fan of the Game of Thrones, right?
Oh, me.
Yeah, the last
absolutely.
season, right? A special treat here. Oreo is making a lot of fans happy with Game of Thrones Oreos. That's right, Anna. So hungry here.
My goodness.
According to Instagram user and possible food hunter, Candy Hunting, that might be you, Anna. This is a look at the possible packaging. Now, if true, Milk's favorite cookie will be out before the debut of the new season, and that is April 14th. I'm just hungry watching
I'm going
that.
to eat those while I watch Game of Thrones.
There you go.
I need dessert.
It's a deal. I need sugar and chocolate. Yeah. Thanks for being with us tonight. We'll see you right back here at 6:30 tomorrow night. Good night.